Welcome to the 2018 University of Canberra Commencement Ceremony. My name is Professor Nick Klomp. I'm the Deputy Vice-Chancellor here at the University of Canberra, and I'll be your Master of Ceremonies here today. The Commencement Ceremony, of course, is a chance for the University of Canberra to officially mark the beginning of the academic year, but it's also a chance to welcome our new members of the community, all of you, and wish you all well in your new academic journey with us for the next few years at least. As we do in all official ceremonies and all official committees and meetings at the University of Canberra, I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we stand, the Ngunnawal people, and I pay my respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all members of the Indigenous communities present here today. But moreover, and much more excitedly, we have Auntie Ros Brown here. It is my pleasure to invite her to the stage. Rosalind Brown is an elder in residence with the university, an elder of the Ngunnawal Nation, and I invite her to officially welcome you to her country.
Good morning, everyone. Firstly, I acknowledge the Ngunnawal people and the United Ngunnawal Elders Council. I also acknowledge other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and non-Indigenous friends. A special acknowledgement to current and commencing students and staff at the University of Canberra. Chancellor Tom Calma, Vice-Chancellor Deep Saini and his wife Rani, also Vice-Chancellor's deputies Nick Klomp and George Cho. The Deans and other VIPs present. Professor Peter Riddell, Anthea Mahoney, staff and students of the Ngunnawal Centre, and a big welcome to Wiradjuri Echoes. We're so proud to have you here. The Ngunnawal people pay our respect to our traditional neighbours, the Gundungurra to the northeast, the Walgaloo to the south, the Wiradjuri to the west, the Yuin to the east and the Ngarigo to the southeast. Our neighbours came to Ngunnawal country to participate in ceremonies which included sustaining law and culture, initiation, sports, trade and sharing of knowledge. Traditionally, visitors were welcomed to country as part of an ancient Aboriginal protocol so that your spirit is protected. It is the elders who welcome you and pray for your safety during your time on country. And it's wonderful that our non-Indigenous brothers and sisters are including this ancient protocol into major events, which shows respect to traditional owners around Australia. To all students, I hope your time at UC is a great success, and I'm sure you'll really enjoy your time studying here. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Ros. I've had the pleasure of having Auntie Rosalind Brown welcome us to country on many different occasions over the last 5 or 6 years that I've been with the University of Canberra, and I hope that we can continue relying on you, Auntie Ros, to welcome these folk that will be with us for at least a few years at all the different official ceremonies. We're delighted in what support you provide the university and the welcomes that you give at all the official ceremonies. We really do appreciate it. Thanks very much, Auntie Ros. And now I'd like to introduce Duncan Smith and, as Auntie Ros mentioned, the Wiradjuri Echoes to share their culture and to provide a traditional dance.
Well, good morning, everyone. Oh, that was terrible. Good morning, everyone. Just like to also take this opportunity to acknowledge traditional owners of this country, the Ngunnawal people, pay respect to their land, their language, their culture, their ancestors, elders of today and into the future. We'd also like to pay respect to our Aboriginal brothers and sisters here today, international brothers and sisters and Australian brothers and sisters. We'd like to pay respect to the official guests and speakers. These are my two daughters. Dark-headed one is Nakia and the blonde-headed one is Jaquita. And this first dance that we'd like to perform is a calling of our ancestors while sweeping away and sweeping the land clean. Say. Now I'd like to introduce you to this one, the didgeridoo. Aboriginal people call it a yurrak, and it comes from all the native trees in Australia. Little termites like to eat them out. When we want to play it, we make our lips. Makes what we call the droning sound. Circular breathe. It's where we breathe in through our nose, and out through our mouth at the same time. That way you can continuously play it. If you don't learn that, you run out of breath and faint. So it's important to learn the circular breathe. After that, we learn about all the different Australian animal sounds. For instance, one of those sounds is the gungaroo, the kangaroo, bouncing sound. To do that sound, lips, circular breathe, and flick my tongue off the top of my gum, all at the same time. Little baby kangaroo, the joey. And the last one, the dingo. And then put all of them together without stopping. It's important that culture gets handed on to the younger generation, not just dancing and art, but also song, language. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to invite one of my girls up. They'll just have a quick, oh yeah, there you go. They sorted that out easy. Jaquita is going to sing this. This is the only second time she's ever sung in front of a crowd, so give her a round of applause, eh? And Nakia will do the dance. This song is called Million. Million is a wedge-tailed eagle. This song is about the way that he flies, the way he hunts his prey and takes it back to his young ones. Did she do all right? Well done, baby girl. It's like I said, it is important that they do take up that culture, all of it. This next dance is called a showing off dance. This one here is about showing off to the ancestors, showing off to the elders, showing that culture is kept strong within us. One more. I'd like to, because see, it's always good just to sit and watch culture, but it's even better to be involved in culture. So what I'd like to do is share a sitting dance with you, okay? You don't have to do much, you just have to sit there, make sure your hands are free, and all you have to do is follow my directions. Yeah. Now this dance goes back as old as the hills, as old as the land itself. Goes back to the time of creation. It's part of us. Ancestors are watching us. So we have to make sure that we do it properly. Okay, First thing we have to do, Aboriginal people, we stomp our feet to wake up the spirit of Mother Earth. Stomp your feet, 1 foot. Clap your hands, awake your ancestors. Now you have to make a sound like this, ready? Cha, 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 cha. Let me hear. Cha, 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 cha. Now we take this hand, put it on your elbow and make a bird head. Like this. Ready? Now we're going to go backwards and forwards to the beat. Oh, synchronise, synchronise there. Now we have to go at the ground, ready? Synchronise, synchronise. Ready, back up. If you're out of placement, catch up. Here we go. We're going to go side to side, to the right. Here we go. To the left. To the right. Now we're going to take our arms and put them on our, keep that foot tapping on our hips. And we're going to move our hands up under our armpits to the beat. Come on. High as you can. Now we're going to move our elbows to the beat. Here we go. Synchronise it, synchronise it. And then we're going to sing. I feel like kicking in the heart. Oh, you're brilliant. Just want to say thank you again for inviting us out and sharing culture. Culture is something as Australians that we all should own and be part of. That way we can keep it alive for the next 40,000 years. Thank you very much and enjoy your day.
Our alumni guest speaker for today's ceremony is Tim McKay. Tim graduated in 2013 with a Bachelor of Public Relations from the University of Canberra. Tim is the CEO and founder of OK RDY, a mentorship matching platform helping students connect with industry professionals and other career opportunities, building capability for recommended mentorships based on professional goals, personal interest and social impact priorities, with an initial focus on areas such as women in leadership, STEM education, Indigenous career support, cultural outreach and accessibility pathways. OK RDY, Tim's company, is working with the University of Canberra to explore new channels for students to discover meaningful career opportunities, for the university to foster world-ready graduates through mentorships, and to help facilitate alumni collaboration via personal, professional and values-based interest. I'm sure you'll all be interested in what Tim has to say. Can you please join me in welcoming him?
Hello everyone. I'm honoured to be here as your alumni guest speaker for the University of Canberra's commencing class of 2018. It wasn't too long ago that I was starting my first week here in this very refectory, and I wanted to begin by congratulating you on taking this important first step. Please give yourselves a big round of applause. You are now one step further along the road of your personal journey. You are now one step in front of those people that simply thought about going to university and never applied or didn't put in the effort to succeed. Decisions are made by those that show up, and the fact that you've chosen to better yourselves through academic study is just another great decision in a line of personal and professional choices that will make a profound impact on your life going forward. I thought I'd spend a few minutes and share my own background, some observations from my own inspirational mentors, and tips to help you thrive and survive your time here at UC. I was born in Albury and went through most of my schooling in Wagga Wagga, so I'm a country boy at heart. I had lots of super talented friends that could sing, dance, play any instrument put in front of them. But the common problem was that while artistically talented, most couldn't market themselves and transition from an idea about what they wanted to be to actually booking gigs or pursuing their passion in the real world. And much like entrepreneurship, it's all about the execution. So I wanted to help my friends and originally set my sights on becoming the best music manager the world had ever seen, a degree that certainly wasn't offered in the country town of Wagga. Now, I grew up in a low socioeconomic environment and my parents never had much money. So I worked 3 jobs for 18 months to save up enough money to study music business management in Melbourne. I loved it. Being in a new city, living out of home for the first time, meeting new friends, learning about something I was passionate about was all super exciting. However, for me, my first go at university was cut short when my grandmother fell ill, and out of the family, I was in the best situation to care for her. So I completed my first year with a high distinction and returned home to Wagga. Thankfully, after a couple of years, my granny bounced back and is still going strong at 87 and one of OK RDY's biggest supporters. I always wanted to continue my university experience and complete a degree as a personal goal I had set myself. Fast forward to 2010, where I was accepted into the University of Canberra's Bachelor of Public Relations. Within a few days, the University of Canberra became my new home and I moved on campus. Now it's here I wanted to highlight a few tips and tricks that I found useful. Firstly, and this is a safety warning, if you have just moved on campus, please don't put knives, forks, spoons, or any metal in microwaves. Now you might laugh at that, but my first night on campus, someone in my dorm tried to cook 2-minute noodles in the microwave using a metal pot and put it all in like they were cooking it on the stove, walked away oblivious, and it started sparking and flaming like crazy, so be careful. But seriously, my non-cooking tips are to get involved in UC's student groups and meet other students that share your interests and build your professional network today. It was my experience with the University of Canberra Public Relations People's Student Society that first identified a common problem that is now at the heart of what we're solving at OK RDY. The PRP Society organised extracurricular field trips to different PR agencies and workplaces all across Australia. We could speak to recent graduates and CEOs about their typical day. Have a look around their offices, get a feel for the culture, learn about how they worked, what type of clients they worked with, about problems and how they overcame them. Not something that you can easily find on a website. I saw firsthand how this simple experience helped provide context and educate students on where, and just as importantly, where they didn't want to apply for internships, programs, and graduate positions. I encourage you to talk to your lecturers. They have fantastic expertise, and many of whom can share stories about their time in industry. For me and my degree, the teachers at UC were instrumental to helping shape what OK RDY is today. Their insights into industry and openness about their various career roles really helped not just me, but other students to connect with life after study and all the opportunities that are available for you. I'm very lucky that many of those teachers are still my mentors and supporters today. If you have a bit of a side hustle or you want to grow your network, then there are some fantastic programs and events to help you do that. You're very lucky to have access to a great innovation ecosystem that wasn't around when I was studying and that your university has played a critical role in supporting. Just to name a few, the Canberra Innovation Network provides free forums and beer to network and pitch your startups like Shark Tank to both get funding, mentorships, and help you grow an idea into a business. Innovation ACT, where you can get free access to startup workshops and business workshops. Meet exciting people to form teams, and if you're lucky, pitch for up to $50,000. Right through to local investments that the Vice-Chancellor has made to ensure that you have access on campus to programs such as the Millhouse Accelerator for Social Enterprises and UC's Entry 29, a co-working space. As mentioned by Nick, OK RDY is a mentorship matching platform that connects students, you, with professionals and companies. We use an innovative recommendation engine and profile creator to capture your personal interests, professional goals, skills, values that you care about, and then recommend mentors, charity projects, or graduate programs to help you learn more about industry while you're studying. You can grab a cup of coffee or go on a workplace tour, and if it's a great match, you might even be recommended to a formal mentoring program in the company you're interested in. We launched a closed version of the app late last year with big companies like Telstra, IBM, federal and state governments, and with your very own University of Canberra. We are taking pre-orders for free access on our website and will launch on Apple and Android stores in the coming weeks. So in closing, my main message would be, don't wait until after you graduate to begin getting involved or asking questions about industry. You are surrounded by fantastic teachers and mentors and leaders. Learn as much as you possibly can from them by asking questions, and with experience, you can learn to see around corners and prepare before you graduate. My team and I will be out tomorrow at your market day taking pre-registrations for our app and making a bit of a promo video. So we invite you to swing by, say hello, and we'll tell you a little bit more about what we're doing. Thank you and good luck.
Thanks so much, Tim. Really, really appreciate it. You can see that Tim is a really busy guy, so we really appreciate him taking his time out to address us today. And as a small token of our appreciation, Tim, will you accept this gift? Thank you. Good on you. Right, we're on the homeward stretch now, everyone. I'd like now to invite Professor Deep Saini, Vice-Chancellor and President of the University of Canberra, to officially welcome you all to the university and to mark officially the new academic year. Deep.
Thank you, Nick. Hello to everybody. It is such a pleasure to see this refectory full of fresh new faces on this campus. I have 2 times during the year that are my favorite: the commencement day and the graduation days at the university. It's because both of these days remind me every year, in case of graduation actually twice a year, why we are here, what it is that we do in a university. So with that spirit, welcome to you all. Delighted to see you all here and delighted to be here to say we are beginning a new year. Let me also join others who have said so before in paying my respect to the traditional custodians of this land, the Ngunnawal people. This has become an Australian tradition now. I actually came to this country in 1978 in my first round of our lives here in Australia as a student, and at that point this wasn't happening. And now that my wife and I are back in Australia after a gap of 34 years, we came here a year and a half ago, I'm so pleased that we actually begin every event, not just at this university, but all across the country, by acknowledging the presence of our Indigenous citizens and the contributions they have made to the history of this country and they continue to make to the culture of this country. And that history goes long time back, 40,000 plus years, as compared to some of the history that we used to hear when I was here in the first round. It is important that we do that because it is a way for us to, at every possible occasion, remember what Australia is all about. It is an inclusive society made up of many cultures and many traditions. Speaking of many cultures and many traditions, you have come from various places. Some of you have come from outside the city of Canberra, from perhaps a small town, like Tim just mentioned. He came from Wagga when he arrived here. Others may have come from faraway places, from another province or another state or territory of Australia, or perhaps even overseas. I want to say not only welcome to you all to the University of Canberra, but to the beautiful city of Canberra. Canberra has become a home to my wife and I for the last year and a half, and we actually so entirely enjoy being here, enjoying a complete interface of human beings with nature in this city, which you do not see in some of the bigger cities. We came from Toronto, Canada, and you certainly don't see the same kind of interface between people and nature as you see in Canberra. So welcome to beautiful Canberra. Welcome also to the University of Canberra, and let me remind you why we are here at the University of Canberra. To state the obvious, you come to a university to learn. But what is more important than that university is a place where you learn to learn how to learn. That is the most critical thing here. And in that spirit, I want to point out this document to you all. It's called Distinctive by Design. It is the new strategic plan of the University of Canberra. It's available online on our website. I urge all of you who haven't looked at it to actually have a look at this, because in it are the seeds and the embryos of the future of this university. And I will come back to talk about a few of those aspects of this strategic plan that are particularly relevant to our students in just a moment. University of Canberra is a bold university. We are a challenger university. We have broken away with many traditions. And one of those traditions that we are particularly proud of is our commitment to diversity. One very visible and smiley image of that commitment to our diversity is our Chancellor, Professor Tom Kalma. Professor Kalma is the first Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander man to be appointed the Chancellor of an Australian university. In 2013, Professor Kalma was named ACT Australian of the Year. He has been Chancellor since 2014. He's a renowned health and human rights campaigner. He's a diplomat, former diplomat. He plays a role in using education to make Australia a healthier, fairer, and wealthier nation. And we are so fortunate to have Professor Kalma as our fearless leader, our outstanding ambassador, and a guiding light for the University of Canberra. Professor Kalma is with us. Tom, would you please stand out so people can see? Now, among our commitments to diversity, we have an outstanding commitment to gender equity. This commitment of University of Canberra stands out. For 10 years running, we have been named the Australian employer of choice for gender equity by Workplace Gender Equity Agency. This is the 11th year, and we are waiting with bated breath for an announcement to come in the next couple of weeks. We're hoping very much that we will actually break new ground. 11th, I don't think any organization ever done that, 11 years in a row. And we are only one of the 2 agencies in Canberra that has this honor of being named the employer of choice for gender equity. We participate in Science in Australia Gender Equity Pilot. We are the home to 50-50 by 2030 Foundation for gender equity in senior positions in Australia. So this is a place where you come to celebrate diversity and equity. And in many other ways, this is a place where we do this, and I would use other occasions to list all the different ways we celebrate equity and diversity in this university. Among other things that we are very proud of is that we are one of the few campuses in Australia where no smoking is allowed anywhere on the campus. And that's not just in the buildings. We don't allow smoking anywhere in the campus within the boundaries of this university, even on the grounds. So please remember that if you are found smoking, one of us will tap you on the shoulder and request you to not do that again, because we want to keep this environment healthy for everybody. That's our commitment to health. You have come, and I address the students now, you have come to the University of Canberra at a very auspicious occasion, at a very auspicious time in its evolution. The next few years will witness the dawn of transformative changes at the University of Canberra, both physically and in the delivery of our commitment to teaching, learning, and research. I mentioned Distinctive by Design, our strategic plan. Let's discuss just a few aspects of that plan that I want to highlight for you, and then I'll leave the rest of it for you to read. There's going to be a physical transformation of this campus, and the early stages of that physical transformation are already revealing themselves. If you look to the northeast of the campus, you will see the Health Hub, which is a facility where a whole slew of health facilities are contained, that are all integrated with our teaching and learning, and they serve as our partners, private providers who serve as our partners in forming our students in a very practical manner. We have just last year opened a new residence, the UC Lodge, which I was told this morning is now full. It is state-of-the-art residence facility for the students. If you go down to the northwest corner of the campus and look down the hill there, you will see a brand new building coming up. This is the University of Canberra Public Hospital. We are currently debating what exact name this hospital will take, but it'll have certainly University of Canberra and hospital in that name. And that hospital is our teaching and research hospital for the University of Canberra, integrated with our Faculty of Health and with the Faculty of Science and Technology. And it is on time for opening on 1st of July. We have opened a new medical imaging lab. And if you look to the east of the building 11, right about there, you will see that there are big machines currently digging up the asphalt in the parking area there. And in that place, a new cancer care center will go up within the next year. And that too is integrated with teaching and learning at the University of Canberra. We are after that about to break ground on an aged care facility, and that is to the east of the hospital, right by the Ginandara Drive. It will be a large facility, again integrated with teaching and learning. All these developments are the harbingers of much larger campus development plan that will be eventually worth about $2 billion over the next decade to decade and a half. It includes a campus community of about 9,000 to 10,000 residents that would exist to the west of the campus along the Aikman Drive, where these residents will live on campus. They would be physically, geographically, and in purpose part of the institution, living what we call the educated life on the university's campus. Other precincts, I have mentioned health precinct that's developing. We have education, sport, and other precincts in the planning stages. In all of that, students are at the center of these commitments. Students are at the center of our Distinctive by Design strategic plan. Two things to watch in this, and you will read more about it if you actually went ahead and looked this plan up on the website. And one of them is our focus on student success. We are a university that is known as a university that provides opportunities for students to succeed after they receive their degree. It has often been said about other universities that you go to University X or Y to get a degree, but you go to University of Canberra to get a job. So we're very proud of that label for the University of Canberra, and we are going to be further strengthening that commitment. One element that will play a critical role in that plan is experiential learning. We are already quite active in work-integrated learning. We are planning to take it to the next stage where within the next 4 years, to get a University of Canberra degree, you would have to have engaged in work-integrated learning. You won't be able to get a University of Canberra degree without getting some integrated work experience so that when you finish your degree, you will hit the ground running and you will be ready for a career. Now, that's about education, but there's a lot more happening at the University of Canberra. University's education is not just simply about getting a degree or getting a job afterwards. It's also about formation of a complete whole person. There are a lot of opportunities on the campus to do that. So study, please do. Pay attention to that, but at the same time, take some time away from your classroom and from your laboratories or from your computer workshops and so on, and look outside that sphere and join a club, join an academic society, join a sports team, make friends, Check out Entry 29, for example. Check out Millhouse, these facilities that Tim mentioned. These are all facilities that are there to help you shape yourself into that whole person. That is also part of the distinctive by design. You have come here to learn, but you will actually shape by design, through your own efforts, helped by us, the kind of person you become, the kind of professional you become as a result. As you know, the University of Canberra has been in a phase of phenomenal rise over the last decade. It is a university that is today recognized in the top 2% of the universities in the world and in the top 100 young universities anywhere in the world. And it is rising through those rankings. You are not just simply a student, you're going to be an active participant in this venture where the fate of this university and the fate of our students, they are inextricably tied. The better you do, the higher the university would rise. The higher the university rises, the higher would be the currency of the degree that you would obtain from this university. So make the best of this experience, make friends, make your network. There are students from over 100 countries studying in this university. This is the network that you would carry with you for the rest of your lives and your careers. So enrich yourselves with this opportunity that you have where the United Nations is actually present right here on this campus. And that would be, as I said, your network for the rest of your life. So let me switch now at the end to a very personal note. University of Canberra is a family. It is a family that is big enough to offer a broad range of opportunities to all who are members of this family. But it is also small enough to be intimate and personal and to give an opportunity for everybody to be an individual here connected to this family and not just simply a student number. Let me speak to you as the head of this family, or the figurehead of this family, as a Vice-Chancellor. I want you to know that as members of this family, you, the students, are very, very important to me in a very personal way. You may not know, my wife and I and a little dog of ours, we actually live on campus, not far from the student residence. It's about 2 minutes walk from the UC village. And it is for you to discover where we live. That's your first quiz as you come to the university. But you would find us in many places on the campus. My wife is actually, we take this so seriously that my wife comes to these commencement ceremonies and other ceremonies every year. Rani, would you please stand up? And so people can see, please stand up. So, you know, think of Rani and I, depending on your age, as your mom and dad or brother and sister or uncle and aunt or whoever else you want to think of us, or just purely friends. And say hello to us. You will find us in many places. I am an avid jogger on the campus. You will often catch me jogging around in the mornings or evenings. If you're an early riser, I'm soon to revive my habit of going to gym early in the morning. I have been remiss over the last couple of months. Things have been busy, but you will find me in the gym, especially if you show up there between 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning. You will catch me in the evenings with my wife walking our dog. If you're looking for us at that time, look for a white dog, the cutest Maltese poodle cross you'll ever see on earth. Don't look for a suit, because I would be normally in shorts and t-shirt in the evening. And if you spot us somewhere, please walk up and say hello. Tell us about yourself. I want to get to know all of you individually by the time you finish your degree. So again, to finish, as you begin your studies here at the University of Canberra, whether you're returning to classes after summer break or this is your first day or first week at the University of Canberra, I want to again say to you a very warm welcome. You have made the right choice. I know that we have made the right choice by admitting you to this university. And I wish you a lot of success in the coming weeks and months, and a very happy and successful and impactful life ahead. Thank you again.
Oh, thank you very much, Vice-Chancellor. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal proceedings for the 2018 Commencement Ceremony. And can I just say a few thank yous to a number of people here. Our speakers, Arnie Rosin Brown, the Wiradjuri Echoes, Tim McKay, and of course our Vice-Chancellor for their welcome words of support and advice. Thank you for the orientation team for organising this whole week's program of events. Thank you also to the university staff and representatives for making the time to attend in what is a very busy but very exciting week for all of us here at the University of Canberra. And thank you all to the students, parents and friends for attending the commencement ceremony here today. Could I please invite you all to join us on the concourse that's just behind me outside for a barbecue. I understand the barbecue also includes pavlova and perhaps some cricket. So please join us if you will. Thank you everyone and welcome again to the University of Canberra.